This Notebook LM video addresses the promise of a new covenant where everyone will know God directly, from the least to the greatest, implying no need for external teaching. This new covenant is described as making the old system, which required intermediaries like priests and external rules, obsolete. Now, everyone has direct access through the Holy Spirit.
You ever been reading the Bible and just stop because two things you just read seem to totally cancel each other out? It's like, wait a minute, that can't be right. Well, that's what we're jumping into today. We're going to tackle a big one. Teachers. Are they essential or are they totally unnecessary? Okay, so check this out. On one side of the ring, you've got Ephesians. It says flat out that Christ gave us teachers. Why? To equip us, to help us mature. Makes perfect sense, right? But then, on the other side, you've got this incredible promise from the prophet Jeremiah, a promise that gets brought up again in Hebrews. And it says, a day is coming when nobody will have to teach anyone about God because everyone, and I mean everyone, will know him directly. So, what's the deal? So, you see the problem, right? Is this just a straight-up contradiction in the Bible? Or is there something deeper going on? Is it possible for both of these things to be true? Well, that's exactly the puzzle we are going to unpack together. Let's solve this thing. All right, first things first, let's grab that first puzzle piece, the whole argument for teachers, straight out of Ephesians chapter 4. Okay, so this verse is huge. It lists out all these gifts Christ gave to the church, apostles, prophets, and, teachers. But listen closely, because there's one little word in there that is an absolute game changer. The word is until. You see that? These roles, these gifts, they have a purpose, and they have a shelf life. They're not the destination. They're the vehicle to get us to the destination. So what's the destination? What's the goal? Well, it's not what you might think. It's not about creating a church full of spectators who just depend on a few superstars. No, it's the total opposite. The whole point is to equip everybody for their own ministry, to build this strong, unified body, to help us all mature, and to get us so sharp that we can spot bad ideas from a mile away. And you'll notice teachers aren't lone wolves here. They're part of this five-fold team, right? You've got apostles laying foundations, prophets speaking what God's saying, evangelists sharing the good news, pastors caring for the flock, and teachers, their job is to bring that solid, sound instruction. But it's always with that same goal in mind, build up everyone else so they can do the work. So, here's the big takeaway from Ephesians. Leadership is all about service. It's meant to empower the whole team, not to do all the work for the team. It's about equipping, not controlling. Okay, got that? Good. Now let's pick up that other, trickier piece of the puzzle. All right, let's pivot. Now we need to look at this other idea, the one that seems to throw a wrench in the whole we need teachers thing. This is the radical, mind-blowing promise of the new covenant. Listen to this. This is the promise from Jeremiah, and it gets quoted again in Hebrews, so you know it's a big deal. It talks about a new reality where you won't have to turn to your neighbor and say, hey, let me tell you about God. Why? Because everyone will already know him. Directly. From the most important to the least. I mean, wow. That sounds like it puts teachers completely out of a job, doesn't it? And to really get how massive this is, look at the difference between the old and new covenants. In the old way, you needed a priest to go to God for you. The rules were on stone tablets, external. Knowledge came from other people. But in the new covenant, bam, everything gets flipped on its head. Access is direct, for you. The law is written inside you, on your heart, and knowledge of God, it comes from the Spirit within. Yeah, Hebrews doesn't mince words. It says this new way makes the old way obsolete, like game over for the old system. This isn't just a software update, It's a brand new operating system for our relationship with God, and that is the key to finally solving our puzzle. Okay, here we go. This is the moment. How do we make sense of these two giant ideas living in the same book? On one hand, we need teachers. On the other, you won't need a teacher. This is where the light bulb goes on. The secret is this: the teacher's job doesn't vanish, it transforms, it completely changes. Under the new covenant, a teacher is no longer a gatekeeper standing between you and God. You don't need one. Instead, they become an equipper, a guide. Their job is to help people who already have that direct line to God, to grow, to mature, to understand what they've been given. I love this analogy. Think about it like this. A gatekeeper at a fancy club is the one who decides if you get in or not. They control access. But a personal trainer, they meet you inside the gym. They already know you have access. Their job is to show you how to use the equipment, how to get stronger, how to reach your goals. The new covenant teacher is the personal trainer, not the bouncer at the door. Let's just break that down a little more. The gatekeeper's role makes you dependent on them, but the personal trainer, their entire goal is to make you independent. They want you to get to the point where you don't need them anymore. They give you the tools, they show you the right way to do things, they help you use the strength you already have. Their focus isn't on themselves, it's 100% on your growth. That's the teacher from Ephesians. A guide for sure, a gatekeeper, no way. Okay, so why does any of this matter? I mean, it's a neat theological puzzle, but so what? Well, it actually changes everything about how we can and should approach our own spiritual lives, right now, today.
Here's what it means for you. It means you have a direct line to God, period. You don't need a middleman. The Holy Spirit is your number one built-in teacher. So what's community for? It's for growth, for encouragement, for being equipped. It's not about finding someone to get you access to God. And leadership, their job is to serve you, to build you up, to equip you, not to stand over you.
So you see, it was never a contradiction after all. It's just a beautiful and radical new reality. We have teachers not because the door to God is locked, but because it's been thrown wide open. And we need guides to help us explore this amazing, huge territory we now have access to. Which really leaves us with one final big question to chew on. If your connection to God is absolutely direct, what does that make the role of community in your own journey of growth?